Hi guys. I want to talk a little bit about Christmas today. Um, Not really about like what Christmas is or the religious aspect of it too much, but how Christmas is not always happy for everyone. And I'm sure there's a lot of stories about why Christmas is not happy, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about why Christmas always hasn't been happy for me. And Leo is back. Here he is. My dogs are barking, of course, because I hit record. That's always what they do. Um, as a child, now I've mentioned before, I don't have a lot of childhood memories, just kind of feelings. But as a child, when I think about Christmas, I think about just a few things. I think um, I remember feeling kind of sad and guilty over Christmas. Um, Sad, I'm not sure why. I don't know if the feeling in my house was sad over Christmas. I don't have anything specific to pin that to. But guilty, I know that, you know, the home that I grew up in, there wasn't a lot of money. And that's a lot of people's stories, but there wasn't a lot of money. So I really felt guilty over the gifts that I would get. And I know that they were given to me with love and, with the right intentions, but I still felt guilty over receiving them. I didn't get a lot, one or two, which is just fine. I kind of dislike the materialistic, crazy amount of money that gets spent on Christmas, so I appreciate just one, thoughtful thing. But I definitely had feelings of guilt over receiving those gifts, and that's as a young child. I can't put an age on when I felt that, but when I just think about Christmas as a child, that's what I think of. One other memory that I thought of last night is one of the churches that I went to as probably a young teenager, or, before teenage years, was a Baptist church, and they had a Christmas Eve candlelight service, which, I can't remember too much about it other than we would sing, classic Christmas carols and hymns, and they had candles. They didn't have the lights on. They had candles lit along the aisles, and then they had, we each got to hold a little candle with a paper disc on it. And I just remember that feeling so, I want to say, magical. I don't know, it just felt so cool, that service, with candles. And I love Christmas carols, the old ones, and it just, yeah, that just felt so cool, that candlelight service. I feel like if there was one at any church anywhere, I would go to it, because I just, as a child and even as adult, that just felt just so cool. But anyway, as an adult and then having children, my children and my husband love Christmas. They love the whole thing, the lights, the Christmas songs, the carols, the hymns, giving gifts, receiving gifts, of course. The whole season they absolutely love. And I've struggled to love it. I felt in the past years very stressed over it. I had a lot of sadness come in during the Christmas season. And then, of course, guilt for feeling sad, because it is the celebration of the birth of Jesus, and we are to, feel certain things and do certain things. And I always felt as if I wasn't feeling joyful and I wasn't feeling, all the things you're supposed to feel at Christmas time that everyone talks about, then there was something wrong with me. And, I can remember one of the churches I was in as an adult, we had a Christmas tea for the women, which was a really beautiful afternoon where they would have, music and some speakers, and we would all dress pretty, and you know, they would decorate the sanctuary just absolutely beautifully and have, wonderful food, and it was just for women, and it was so great. And I did help out a few times, set it up. I did do a reading one time, but I can remember we had conversation questions at our tables. And there was one time that I was to ask they were conversation starters, and they were basic Christmas questions. But one of the questions was, what is your favorite childhood memory of Christmas? And I did not want to ask that question because I would be expected to answer it. And I didn't have a favorite childhood memory of Christmas, because when I thought of Christmas as a child, it made me want to run and hide. It made me sad. It made me definitely not feel good. So how was I going to answer that question to these women who had these beautiful answers about going here and there, or this great story that happened, or baking cookies with their grandma and all these different things, and all I had to answer that question was sadness. And so I didn't want to ask that question, and I ended up not asking it, which kind of got me in trouble with my leader, because she had set those questions for me to ask, and it was supposed to be done that way. And when I was in leadership, sometimes at church, I would get in trouble for not doing the things I was suggested to do. But yeah, so I'm trying to figure out what my point is with this, but Christmas is getting better for me. I'm starting to enjoy it more. I do like gift giving, and I do like what the season is about. And I, of course, love still Christmas carols, the old Christmas carols, and the old Christmas songs. And I want to have a candlelight service for myself so I can relive that. But yeah, I kind of wanted to share about Christmas not always being happy for everyone, and not everyone has good Christmas memories. And I'm sure there's more traumatic things that have happened to other people around Christmas and around holidays. I can't remember why I don't like it. I can't remember those parts of my childhood for now, but that's the way it is. And that's what I got for today. I am headed to work once again. It is also snowing again. We're supposed to just get a little bit, some dusty stuff, because it's not, it's still cold, like around 0 degrees. So the snow then is fluffy and light rather than being heavy and wet. But yeah, we'll talk more again next time. Thank you so much, you guys. Live and love out of the way you were created.